Yo, what's going on, guys? This is your boy Too Damn Golden, your VR Voyager. And if you're watching this video and you clicked on this, you already see the title. I will not be putting out a Reach review. I've had it pressed already since Thursday, but I have to give it an incomplete grade as I just, quite frankly, wasn't able to get past halfway through the game. Very technically glitchy, not well optimized. But that's not what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about kind of the bigger picture things with regards to VR and how things like Reach affect VR's ability to continue to grow, right? We all know this was one of the most hyped games, one of the most look forward to games of the year, if not the most outside, maybe Thief, maybe Deadpool VR for some of you guys. But this is probably one of the most hyped up games in VR this year. And quite frankly, it just didn't hold up to expectations. I have a rule of thumb on this channel, and the only game I haven't been able to do this for, if anything that I've reviewed, is Assassin's Creed. I hadn't beaten at the time, but I was about 65% of the way done with that one. And Asgard's Wrath 2, I was about 20 hours in when I did that review. But for the most part, everything else, I try to give you guys my perspective on the full complete experience, start to finish. And I try to make it my mission to actually accomplish that and get it done. I'm gonna be putting out a Trenches review. Not gonna get through that one. Shit scared the hell out of me. But, try to make it, my rule of thumb. Reach, that actually wasn't possible. And it's not because I didn't want to. It's not because I didn't think, I had enough time or that it's some crazy long game. Quite frankly, the game just didn't work. Locked in a van, I think was my second playthrough. I couldn't get past that. My first playthrough, I got hard locked in a room. Third playthrough, I got hard locked where the elevator wouldn't move. And my fourth playthrough, keep in mind, this is me, I had early access to this game. First couple playthroughs, I just couldn't really get it going on the PC VR, so I asked for a quest key, and they were nice enough to send me one, so I am very appreciative of that, right? Second two playthroughs happened on quests. Got hard locked in the elevator, and my final try at this one, I literally got to where you're supposed to upgrade your gauntlets to try to advance to the next area and use it to like climb some type of special material, and it just would not let me get the actual upgrade for that particular item, and I was done. And this isn't a Reach review, right? If you want a quick number on that, it's about a 5.5, maybe a 6 at best. And that leads me to what the main topic of today's video is, right? It's VR creators and the need to make sure that we're being honest and genuine with our opinions and with game reviews and things like that, because a lot of people look to YouTubers or creators in general to actually try to figure out if this is something I'm going to buy, pick up. That's why my thing says if play, buy today or stay away. I want to let you guys know if this is something you should eventually get to and play, or pick up today or just avoid altogether. And I'm not saying that Reach is an avoid altogether territory, but a lot of the reviews, that I've been seeing and some of the commentary that I've seen surrounding this game, it has, in my opinion, been exceptionally disingenuous. And this is not a case where it's just like, oh, you are having those issues, it's your rig, it's your setup. 2 different platforms, 4 different playthroughs. I've been in Discord communities, talked to people on X, and I'm not talking about just random people. I'm talking about people who are actually supposed to be working on these issues and talk to people on Discord. And a lot of these were well-known, bugs and issues. And for this game to go out in that state, and then for subsequently certain creators to then go out and try to give this game high praises and saying, oh yeah, there's a couple glitches, nothing crazy, nothing serious, that's disingenuous. And that's going to be the quickest way for our niche industry to cannibalize itself, because we're going to turn off a lot of audiences if we aren't forthright and honest with them. And that's realistically all I ever try to do, right? All I want to do is introduce as many people as possible to the world of VR. So that's why I try to make sure I beat every game or complete every game before I review it. That's why I try to make sure I give you guys my open and honest opinions. That's why I spend so much time, with the video essays. I have a couple cooking for you guys, by the way. Haven't forgot about those. I got a couple I want to put out at the tail end of this year. I can't give you a date on those yet, but that's why I feel like it's important for us as creators to make sure that we're just being as open and honest with you guys. So that's kind of my bit about transparency right there. And with Reach specifically, you know, being such a highly awaited game, it's just very disappointing to see it come out in a state like it did, especially when we had something like Arc and Age drop in January that was beautifully optimized from the rip, loaded up and go. You know, minor tweaks here and there, but it was beautifully optimized, buttery smooth gameplay. And for Reach, a game with so much potential because the movement in it is actually really cool, right? The movement gives me like a Mirror's Edge, but in VR kind of vibe to it. And I really fuck with that. But the lack of optimization, especially when it's a game that's been, you know, promoted more than the average VR game, probably the most awaited or second most awaited VR game, depending on how you feel about Thief or Deadpool VR. But for something to be this highly anticipated to kind of just flop in terms of delivering a quality experience for the gamer, it turns off potential first-time VR users who may have bought a Quest 3 to try this out, or who may have, you know, bought a PSVR 2 to try this out. And it just kind of sucks that still we're having these issues with bigger games from bigger VR studios with more financial backing. And for these issues to be made known prior to the actual launch and release of the game, and for the game not to get pushed back or anything, so we can make sure that things were fixed or better optimized, and for the mindset to always be, fuck it, we'll fix it later. That's not a sentiment I can get down with. Like, we have to hold studios accountable for putting out half-assed products or bug-ridden products at launch, and we got to let them know with our dollars, which ultimately, again, leads to the cannibalization of the industry, because we have to hold these studios accountable, but at the same time, we're spending less money, so there's less money for these studios to maneuver about, less money in industry, we get less studios actually jumping into VR, and it's kind of a vicious cycle. But I think the end all be all, realistically, guys, is just we need to make sure, you know, not we, but the developers need to make sure that their products are as optimized as possible at launch. Prioritize that over everything. If you have to push the launch back a week or two to figure things out, to patch things up, that's great, because you only have that first chance, you know, to make a first impression. You don't get a second chance at it. And honestly, Reach, probably my biggest disappointment in VR so far, in terms of an individual game. In terms of gaming, it's the most buggy game that I've ever played at launch, in my opinion, for me, right? And the fact that it's VR, so you're physically trapped in a room, makes it that much worse. But that's pretty much all I wanted to say today, man. I'm not gonna lie. Just kind of wanted to vent here a little bit, so I appreciate you guys watching. If you did enjoy this rant-filled video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good jazz. And to my fellow VR creators out there, don't be fucking shills. Be genuine with your audience. Reach at best 5.5 or 6. Memoriam, another game that was really good from a narrative standpoint. Nobody talked about I'm not gonna say nobody, but a lot of the larger VR creators didn't really mention the lackluster combat. Which, if you go to the Quest store and you look at reviews from the actual players, people who are getting in there, you get on the Reddit or some of these forums, you can see that was a common criticism. It's something I pointed out in my video, and it's something that I think more people need to pay attention to, when watching VR content or any gaming content or really anything on YouTube, man. You have to really kind of see if these creators are being genuine with you, or if they're managing and trying to maintain relationships, access to studios, early access, privileges and things of that nature. My mindset is always, fuck it, I'll buy it if I have to. I'd love to have it early. If not, cool, I'll buy it and give you the same unbiased review, whether you gave it to me or not. But I'm always appreciative of it, because I think being able to get more perspectives on things is always beneficial to the industry. But that's about it for you guys today. I appreciate you guys. Click one of these 2 videos right here on screen. Catch you guys later.